Stories start out with the protagonist's world in balance. Then something terrible happens, which throws their world out of balance. This creates a big problem for the protagonist, which they will spend the entire rest of the story trying to fix. They set goals they think will fix their big problem, and try various solutions to achieve this goal. The protagonist and their problem should be established within the first act. The audience needs to know clearly who the protagonist is and what it is they want. This is called the story's setup. If your protagonist is a farmer, they probably want conditions ensuring a successful crop. This might mean minimizing damage from extreme weather or managing crop-eating insects. A big problem for a farmer might be a long drought, a killer frost, a prairie fire, a farm worker strike, a bank foreclosure, or a plague of locusts. When such a disaster happens, we call it the big event, because it turns the protagonist's world upside down, and they will spend the rest of the movie trying to restore the balance. Most farmers pray for rain. How ironic would it be if the farmer's big problem was too much water? The setup might show a farmer performing various chores on his farm. This would establish who the story is about and what they are trying to do. The setup should also indicate where and when the story takes place. But 2 hours of watching someone perform their chores won't make a very interesting story. Something must happen which causes them a big problem. And when the big problem or big event is over, Act 1 is over. Let's analyze the classic 1952 film, High Noon. Gary Cooper plays a town marshal who gets married and retires on the same day. That's the setup. But he has a big problem. A big problem. A killer he sent to prison is arriving on the noon train, and the new marshal won't arrive until tomorrow. He decides that facing the deadly killer and his gang now is the right thing to do. But he has only 1 hour to prepare. His frightened deputies and the townspeople, who he expects to help, turn their backs on him. Even his new bride deserts him. Polar opposite. A protagonist's problem in this story should be the polar opposite of what they would want to happen. The character is made to feel uncomfortable and will do anything to get their life back. The character's goals are what motivates them to make decisions and take actions. These goals must be made crystal clear to the audience. A character's decisions and actions must make sense. Speaking from truth, the solution the protagonist chooses is really the writer's message. It's you who are telling the audience what you believe is the right thing to do. Make your hero a scrappy underdog. The antagonist has a goal opposite to the protagonist and will do anything to keep the hero from achieving his goal. The antagonist always thinks they're fine. They feel perfectly justified in opposing the protagonist's goals. They don't see themselves as selfish or evil. One man's terrorist is another man's freedom fighter. Show the other side of the argument. Present alternative solutions fairly in your story to avoid appearing heavy-handed. Then the audience will see the problem in a greater context. In the movie Jaws, the protagonist, Sheriff Brody, lives in the quiet little beach town of Amityville. That's the setup. The peace is shattered when a giant shark invades their area. This is the big event. That creates a big problem for Sheriff Brody. His goal is to keep the people safe. He will spend the entire rest of the story trying to achieve this. Sheriff Brody has a big flaw. He's afraid of the water. This makes him the most interesting choice of a protagonist to pit against the shark. He tries many solutions to achieve his goals: closing the beaches, accepting help from a marine biologist, getting drunk, hiring a professional shark hunter, and even shooting at the shark with his police revolver, and fails miserably every time. Finally, he overcomes his fear of the water and climbs out on the mast of the sinking boat and shoots the shark with a rifle, detonating the oxygen tank in the shark's mouth. Thus, the writer's message was, kill the shark and restore balance. Do not confuse the protagonist's flaw with their big problem. Their flaw is a character weakness that seriously hinders them from solving the problem. This will be the subject of our next lesson. If you found this lesson useful, please click the like button at the bottom of the screen. Click the subscribe button to be notified of future lessons. Click the link beneath this video under my name to get a printable tip sheet of this lesson. And please, leave a comment telling me how this video may have helped you become a better screenwriter. Good luck and happy screenwriting.